What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be working on a car that I haven't worked on in a little bit. It's not the G80 M3, which I know a lot of you guys have been asking about. That car is coming back. We are going to be continuing the build. And it's not the F30, which we just lowered on some H&R Sport Springs. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about this car too, since I didn't show the finished product. The car is still settling, so we'll get to this car soon. So by process of elimination, we're going to be working on the 435 today, and specifically, we're going to be doing some maintenance on this car now that it has like 70-something thousand miles. So if you guys didn't know, this car has the N55, which is a turbo inline-six from BMW, the one that the B58 replaced. It's overall an amazing engine, but of course, just like any other BMW engine, we have to maintain it. So we're going to be doing a few things in today's video. So one of the things that we have to do is just a standard oil change, but there's a few more things that we have to take care of on the car. But the other thing that we have to do that basically came up on the dash is change the brake fluid. But before we change the brake fluid, we're gonna test it. So if you guys didn't know, these cars basically tell you when to change your brake fluid. All it does is measure the car based on mileage, so it doesn't necessarily need new brake fluid. Something else that we have to do is clean this air filter. Unfortunately, I don't have the oil kit, so that's something we should do, but I'm probably not gonna do in today's video. And the last major thing we have to do today is replace the battery on the 435. So lately, this car has been having some issues starting up, which if you guys didn't know, that could be a sign of a bad battery. Let's see if it happens right now. So if we try to start it, that actually started up pretty fine right now. So of course, out of all times, now it decides to start up fine, but sometimes it'll kind of hesitate to start, and that is caused by the battery. So that's one of the major things that we're going to be doing in today's video. It is not a hard process, but the one thing you have to keep in mind is you have to register the new battery. It's really not that hard to do, guys. They make it sound like it's something proprietary and something that only a BMW dealership can do. You can definitely do it at home with an OBD adapter and a Beamer Link app, which is what I'm going to be doing. So what you have to do first to access the battery is remove a basketball if you have one, like my brother, is just turn this right over here. That unlocks this panel. You can pull it away or away and up, just like that. Ignore these wires. This is from the GTS taillight, so I need to better organize this, but you guys shouldn't have this. But if I move those away in the meantime, you guys can see the battery is right over there. There's a few brackets holding it in. So we have this bracket right over here, and I believe there's another bracket down over here as well. I believe this is a 10 mil, and then there should be another one connected right over here. So this bracket's gonna be pretty easy. And then again, there is another bracket down there, which I believe is another 10 mil. It's gonna be hard to show you guys from this angle, but once I take it out, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, some word of advice in regards to getting a new battery. You can go to like an AutoZone or O'Reilly's or even Costco and get the right battery. However, it's not actually the right battery from what I've seen and what I've researched. They'll tell you that it's right, but the stats just aren't exactly the same. So rather than getting it from one of those places, which is a little cheaper, we actually went ahead and got it from BMW themselves. It didn't cost too much. I think it was about like 300 bucks or so. So it really isn't that bad or that much more expensive than those other stores. And you get a genuine BMW battery, which you know fits your car. So that's just what I would recommend doing. So here's a quick look at the invoice so you guys can grab the part number if you need it, and also the price. It's really not that bad, guys. So this is one of the few instances that if you're gonna get a part from BMW, this is the one to get. Anyways, with that said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and install this battery. Quickly explain to you what you have to do. So let me just go ahead and do it, and then we'll get to registering. Before I put this thing back in, this is that bracket that I was telling you guys. It's basically gonna hold the battery in place so it doesn't slide around from underneath. This is a 13 mil. I think I said 10 mil before, so just to correct myself. When you're doing this, obviously make sure you have an extension. If you guys need any of these tools, links to everything down in the description below. Also, something else that I forgot to mention to take off the battery before you take it out is there's a vent hose right over here. So this thing basically plugs into the side of the battery. Just make sure you obviously take it off before removing the battery, and then once you're putting in the new one, make sure you put it back in. So here's the old battery. This is to show you where the vent hose is gonna go into. Just kind of give you an idea of where it is. So yeah, just put that back in. Now we have to get into the proprietary BMW thing, which is registering the car battery. There are reasons why you have to do it. Something about like the car charges the battery according to how much life the battery has. I don't know, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not an engineer, but that's the reason why you have to register it, because the car thinks that it still has the old battery in there. If you have a new battery and the car starts to charge it differently than it should be charged, you're gonna kill the battery sooner than it should be. So with that said, we're going to make sure we register it. Again, that is an easy process. You have to make sure you have an OBD adapter like this one here. After that, you need the BeamerLink app, or I think you can use Carly. I recommend BeamerLink because you pay for it once and that's it. You have it for life. Carly, I think, is a subscription, but both are great, whatever one you want to use. So with that said, we're going to turn on the car into accessory mode, which I haven't even tested if the car has power yet. So first of all, a moment of truth. Car has power, so that's a good sign already. We're gonna put the car into accessory mode. With the car in accessory mode, we're gonna plug it in the adapter. So it just goes right into your OBD port. So I just logged into BeamerLink, of course, again, connecting to the OBD adapter. Next, we wanna go to battery right over here in the center. You're gonna see right at the bottom, it says register new battery. So I'm just gonna follow the prompt. So we're gonna say it is the same capacity and type as the previous one. It's gonna give us a warning here, so we'll just take a quick read. So at this point, we can register new battery. Battery registration successful. All right guys, so as you saw, we changed the battery. It was super easy to actually do, and then the whole registration process is also super easy. It's just a few clicks away. But with that said, we can move on to the next thing, which is checking the brake fluid. So again, you technically don't have to change the brake fluid if it's okay. It depends on the moisture content or like the water content inside the brake fluid. There's also more detailed stuff about it, like water has a much lower boiling point than brake fluid, so hence why you don't want water in your brake fluid. Anyways, the point is we're going to check it in the 435. If it is good, we're just gonna leave it. We're gonna reset the service light inside the car and just frequently check it. But if it's bad, like I said, unfortunately, I just don't have the tools and like the pumps to do it. So we might just take the car over to Precision. But before we jump to that, let's test it first. So to test the brake fluid, I'm gonna be using this little simple pen, but this thing can actually measure the water content in brake fluid. So I'll leave a link to this down in the description below. This thing's literally only like 15 bucks. So this can actually save you a lot of money. So the way that this thing works is it has a cap right over here. You basically stick this into your brake fluid reservoir, and then it will test it out, and it'll let you know via these lights over here what percentage of water is in your brake fluid. Now I think technically the most that you can have is 2%, but anything over 2%, that warrants you changing your brake fluid. So like I said, we're gonna test this out, but to get to the brake fluid reservoir in the 435, we have to remove the plastic right over here. So to do that, you have to undo these little 10 mils right over here. There's only like 3 of them. So what you want to do with that pen is, of course, just open this up. Now you can see the brake fluid inside. You want to stick the pen inside. So once you obviously have power, you want to press on the button at the top over here. You're going to see the light come on. If you can't get the pen far in enough, you might want to take out this little filter. Of course, just be careful while it's not in there, you don't get anything inside there. So you want to press on the button, stick it in all the way. You can see right now it's saying that we have about 3% of water inside. So that means it is red, and we have to change the brake fluid. So at least now we know for sure that the brake fluid has to be changed, which kind of sucks, but it's all right. It's just part of owning these cars. But now, like I said before, guys, the last thing that we have to do is a standard oil change. Again, this is gonna be on an N55 in this 435. It's pretty easy and pretty simple, and we will have to reset the service light inside the car, which BMW likes to make you think is difficult. But again, just like registering the battery, it's actually super easy. So with that said, let's just quickly knock out the oil change. All right guys, so we went ahead and got the 435 up on ramp, so we can go ahead and start changing the oil. So the first thing we're gonna do is open up the oil cap over here. We're not gonna take it off, we're just gonna open it up so the air can flow through. We're also gonna undo the filter over here. If you guys don't know, this is a BMS oil filter cap. This thing makes it way easier to change your oil. Normally you need like some type of like specialized tool, but this thing makes it super easy because now you can just put a 3/8 in there, or I think some type of socket. I forgot the size, but I think it also tells you. And then something else that's cool about it, actually reminds you what the torque spec for this is in case you forget. And besides the fact that it looks really cool, so this is gonna make my life a lot easier. I'm gonna basically just like leave it open so the air can flow through. Same thing for the oil filter cap. Then I'm gonna go underneath the bottom. I'm gonna get my oil pan and I'm gonna start draining the oil from underneath the 435. So once it's all drained, we can go ahead and start changing the oil filter as well as the gaskets, and then we'll reseal it from underneath, and then we'll refill it with some new oil. All right, so as you guys saw from those clips, we finished up the oil change on the BMW 435. Again, it is super easy. With that now done, what we have to do now is warm up the car to the proper temperature so we can measure the oil, just make sure everything is okay. Once it's okay, we can reset the service light. And then after that, we're pretty much good to go. So what we have to do is go into vehicle info. We want to go into vehicle status. And then there should be an option over here that says engine oil level, and then measure engine oil level. So that's what we want to do. Before you do this, it's going to tell you, but just make sure you have the car on a flat surface. So we took it off the ramps, just if you couldn't tell before, we took it off the ramp, so now it is flat on the driveway. Also, you have to make sure that your car is up to temperature. If your car isn't, it's not even going to let you do this. So with that said, we're just going to press on start measurement. It's going to do its thing. You'll actually hear the car start to rev up. That's totally normal. It'll take a bit, but it shouldn't take too long. So as you guys can see, the measurement finished on my car. And you can tell over here, the oil level is good. What we're gonna do next is actually reset the service light. So in order to reset the service light, we wanna go back into accessory mode. You can honestly also do this with Beamer Link, but in this case, I'm just gonna do it right from the car. So I turned off the car, I'm gonna go back into accessory mode. Once you're in there, you wanna press and hold this button right over here until this screen over here changes. So now you can see the screen change. It's showing our brake fluid needs to be changed. We know that, but we're not gonna change it yet. Engine oil. It says that it's overdue, guys. That's just because we don't reset it every single time we change the oil. We do it more frequently than, than the car recommends. So that's why it's saying that it's way overdue. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and press and hold that button one more time to reset it. At this point, it's just gonna want us to confirm that we wanna reset it. We're just gonna confirm by pressing and holding that same button. At that point, it's gonna say reset in progress. This really shouldn't take too long. And then once it's done, engine oil reset successful. So we're all good. All right, so that's pretty much it. We are all set on the oil. We're all set on the battery. Two not hard, but important jobs to do. Unfortunately, we still have to clean the air filter. Unfortunately, we still have to change the brake fluid. The brake fluid, it's not a hard job either, but you need to have like certain pumps and stuff. Maybe I'll invest into it. But anyways, I just wanted to make this quick maintenance update for the BMW 435 with 70,000 miles on it, on the N55 engine. Overall, it's been pretty reliable. We haven't had any additional issues. I've already had some other issues like valve cover gaskets leaking and some coolant things, but other than that, nothing new has come up. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop it a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And with that said, this video is pretty much done, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.